It was almost 500 years ago now, in the 10th era. Duskfell had been a vicious Orcar. Its abilities could manipulate gravity and space. A tiny battlefield would become miles long, and a large field could suddenly be traversed in a single step. Zarek, a Salbana man, had recently escaped from Solaris. Most Belenarans don't talk about the time when the Fae from East Hollow had laid siege to the city and taken total control of it, enslaving all of the Salbana who were not fortunate enough to escape. To many in that time, the Orcar attack was a blessing in disguise, as when it broke the barrier and made Solaris a battleground, it gave many of them a chance to escape their cruel Fae masters and make their way safely to the tribes in the surrounding wildlands. Zarek was not that lucky. His path of escape had led his group into a trap. All but he had perished, and he barely managed to escape with his life. Not to mention, whether he knew it or not, his path of escape put him right in the path of the Orcar after it left the city, with its waves of shadowlings. In the wilds, he met an injured Fae, who had also escaped Solaris, and the battles waged therein. Zarek thought about killing the Fae, nameless and alone, but he was a man of honor. He would not kill an opponent who could not fight back. Instead, they traveled together, in a tense, awkward atmosphere, dangers all around them. But as they traveled and worked together to ensure survival, and both parties' wounds began to heal, tension melted into camaraderie, which was also a blessing in disguise because mere days into their journey, dusk fell and its waves of shadowlings were upon them. The battle was hard, almost impossible. The Fae wasn't made for combat, and Zarek had only known a life of hard labor. He was no soldier. But the two were smart. They used Duskfell's distortion abilities against it, using the Fae's powers over emotion to guide it into making all the wrong decisions. Together they killed an Orcar. Zarek was raised a hero by the tribes. The Fae, Delta, was exiled for aiding and abetting an escaped slave. Delta, for his part, looked back on that and saw it as nothing more than another positive. He had been working with humans against East Hollow for years. Now it only made things more official.
It's a magical, mystical time. It's anecdotal adventures.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of City of Mist Kingmakers. I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Ashley, and these are my players.
I'm Cassidy, and I will be playing Alex Pine, who is the Rift and Xiang Wang.
Tele. Sorry, slight delay. Who will be playing Adelaide, the Rift of Nemesis.
I'm Sonia, and I will be playing Emma, the Rift of Athena.
I'm Juno, and I'll be playing Jane, the Rift of Hera.
And Simon, who plays Aaron Frankel, the Rift of King David, will not be joining us for this episode. Last we left off, you got a series of revelations. Sofa, the emotion fae of memory and inspiration, had visited your group for Dalavier and had given you quite a bit of information. Alec confronted him about not following through on their end of the bargain between the network and Dalavier's own group. And the next morning got a letter from Dalavier, which had some information in it. Not all of it you received, not even really a fraction of it. As Alec burned and scattered the ashes. You had your dormant loyalties lowered by a bit off-putting Orcar named Dracana, and we pick back up a couple hours after the trial has finished. We will actually pick back up with Adelaide, who you appear in a teleportation circle a sigil set up on the floor. This is, I think, any of you's first time using a teleportation stone to get anywhere, so it's a bit dizzying. But the woman with you has introduced herself as Kalkoa, and leads you up to the main room of the palace while they wait for your friends to all be done with getting rid of the tracking magic.
Companions, not friends, at the moment.
Not quite what I need. Sometimes music is hard. Yeah, no, there we go. Went through 3 songs there. So the rest of you eventually, Kalkoa tells you and Aaron to wait, as you were the only 2 to come with upon her arrival. And she goes and she grabs the rest of you. Kalkoa gets you all together and says, "Your friends have arrived." 2 of them, I should say. And it is up to you to decide the location you want your transportation. I would decide quickly, as there is talk of the barrier going back up soon.
Did we agree we're going to Everin?
Everin?
Yeah.
I'll look at Alec. Everin?
That's the plan. But we should probably inform our new passengers, yeah?
Yeah.
Probably.
So Kalkoa will lead you to where Adelaide and Aaron are waiting.
Hey, Adelaide, welcome to the Denal. We're not staying here long.
Thank God.
Sam.
Well?
We're going to Everin, by the way.
What for, can I ask?
Business.
Alright.
Aaron will say, "Well, that's very helpful. Can we have a little more than that?"
I've never been there for one. I want to go. We need to have a chat.
Yeah.
I turn to Alec. A chat with Olivia?
Chat would somewhat describe, I think, the conversation.
And I want to meet the prince. Everyone talks him up a storm, and I want to meet him. And see if he actually looks like a Disney prince. Because everyone talks about him like he's a Disney prince. But is he a Disney prince?
Those of you that have met him, yes, he looks like a Disney prince.
Yeah.
The coiffed hair, even.
Mm-hmm. Since you're talking around it, I guess you won't even tell me if I ask why we're gonna go see Delavere.
I mean, that's not really up to me. I turn to Alec.
I mean, I already gave you permission to tell everyone. That has not changed. That has not changed. It sounds like you're just trying to wiggle out of the responsibility of giving Adelaide even an inch.
I don't want to give her an inch.
Well, suck it up, you're traveling together.
I noticed. Thanks.
You're 100 and what?
75.
Cry me a river, build me a bridge, get over it.
Don't worry, I have a grudge for now, but by my count, I will forget about it in about 3 weeks. And then I will reread my journal, and then remember I had a grudge, and then be like, oh, that sounds like a lot of energy to keep up. Never mind. That's I turn to the others. That's generally how emotions are supposed to work. You're supposed to emote for a while, and then be like, okay, I did the emotion thing. Let us move on.
I'll just take it that something bad happened and
You guys are
Now,
the old ones, so.
and now judging by Alex, little expression that has changed since the last time I've seen him. I'm guessing that it's not good, but also good.
It's good bad, yeah.
It's generally good for me.
They figured out how to break the binding, which is awesome. Scary sometimes when you think about.
Guinevere found out how to break the binding, which is the problem.
That is the yes.
That is the problem that we are going to have a chat
Nail on head.
with Delavier about.
Good to know. We should probably get going then.
And I want to meet the real-life Disney prince.
Yeah, if you want to meet him, we should probably get going then. If he figures out the problem.
Well, Coco will go. The other Orcar are busy with the child, but I can do the teleportation ritual myself.
That'd be fantastic.
Really
Thank
appreciate that, actually. Hold on. I take off the cuckoo clock watch and I give it to her.
She gives you the flattest look. She opens the harp arm and just plays an off note.
you.
That's my emotion about this clock.
Yeah.
Here's her
But she does put it on her as a wrist.
And then out of guilt, Alice also takes off a necklace with a big old gem and then like
wearing
hands that to her.
Oh, no, I don't need that.
Okay. Puts it
I
back on.
just have to plan how to use this.
It hurts really badly. It's a small hydraulic system in there, and as the clock goes around, it slowly pressurizes it, so it hurts really badly when it's released. Just letting you
That
know.
is fantastic information. She's continuing to wind it to change the time it goes off at.
But also be careful because I made the little containers out of a weaker metal, so they might just pop.
Oh, I'm not planning on hitting anyone with it yet.
Yeah.
I just want it to go off slightly sooner.
Before we leave, I have a question. Do you know why Minos is creating more Orcar?
Why we undergo the ritual in general?
Yeah.
Well, how to put this politely? For one, it fixes a lot of general problems. It cures a lot of diseases and ailments when you undergo the ritual right away, whether or not you get to Orcar status. Or not. Just becoming a dusk solves a lot of problems that humans have just in general. Whether or not you move up the ladder is a personal decision because it depends on how hard you're willing to work for it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've been a night soul for like centuries now. I had no plans of moving up this ladder. I could if I wanted to. Not in the cards.
You can hear the music, yes?
Slightly, but it's not alluring.
Okay. So the higher up you go, the louder the music is.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Most dust can't hear it at all.
Oi, tech talk.
Well, someone's in a rush.
Wow.
Love that. Just Emma. Wow. Goes back to conversation.
Thank you for your help. It's really greatly appreciated.
Well,
I also have a tad, like a weird question you might not know the answer to. Okay, first I want to read her emotions. Are they just as strong as ours? Or are they also muted like the town's?
they're muted, yeah, but like when you focus on them, you can feel them pretty easily too. Not like when you have to really focus to feel like a phase. It's just you have to apply a little more focus to get the exact thing.
The emotions present in Dusks as a whole are a little more tame, very muted. Is that a cultural thing or is that a ritual thing?
Probably more of a cultural thing. If you had come here centuries ago when the Mortani were regular humans. Probably just a cultural thing. We tend to, No, we didn't just... You get used to weird things living in the Denal. If you feel strongly about everything, you'll fall over dead. I live on a floating island. And that has always tended to be the culture. We like our peace and quiet when we can get it.
Huh.
It's pretty
I
rare
can
here.
understand that.
Well, I cannot wait to return.
Well, it'll be lovely seeing you again. I certainly have something to remember you by. She holds up the watch.
Like, actually be careful though. I would feel bad.
I'm
if
not
someone
going
got
to I'm not going to purposely break it or point it at someone's eyeball.
it. I'm not-
At someone's eyeballs.
I can't promise it won't be pointed at someone's belly button, but it's an entirely different story.
Why did I never think of doing that? Is it okay if I steal your compact instrument?
Sure. Next time you come back, I could give you the schematics for it if you wanted.
I think I'm gonna try and finagle it myself because I really want to go for a different instrument, not a harp.
I'll be curious to see what you come up with. And she leads you to the teleportation circle. Where in Ever do you want to go? Ever's a big place.
Alice,
I'm gonna pull up
just
a map.
straight to it.
Well, maybe not in the palace,
Oh, no, front door.
but the capital
Front
would be
door.
nice.
Okay. Trying to figure out what the nearest teleportation jump off point would be for that. It's a little ways outside the city. It's a bit of a walk. Probably take about half the day.
Okay.
Okay then. Into the circle you go. And it is also in the pushed back library drawn on the floor.
Hmm.
Did you all get in the circle, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Do a quick head count to make sure everyone's there.
Felix, Lisa,
yeah,
Ezekiel. Okay,
Not
wonderful.
everyone's there. Kalkoa will throw a purple stone up into the air. The circle will glow in time as it reaches the center of the circle, crackle, and then shatter. And when your eyes next adjust, you are in the middle of an open field.
She was really lovely. Quite enjoyed her.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
We better start walking.
Or fly.
Can I keep an eye out for anything that might happen?
Might be quicker to fly.
Anything stalking us? Or anything
Sure.
dangerous heading towards us?
Investigate.
Check or just-
Investigate.
Got a 5.
Well, do you want to add me 5 more things?
No.
Okay. No questions. Do you guys
Because I feel like
fly there on a transformed Adelaide, or do you walk?
Adelaide transforms just as an offer.
Do
They'll be
anything?
faster.
Hey, Jane.
Take care of that.
Yes?
Hey, can you make my wings real? I kind of want to practice flying with them.
She just like sighs and then
Thank
does
you.
it for
You
you.
want to come flying with me?
Do we have like a harness at this point?
So you've at least found a rope.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
flying.
Jane will take her up on the offer because flying is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do the rest of you climb on Adelaide's path? The rest of you being Alex?
Jane stops Emma and she's like, Alice, if it would make you more comfortable.
No, it's not about being uncomfy. It's just the last time we flew, I figured it was life or death. So I kind of got over it. This doesn't feel life or death. And I'm having a little bit of a freak out about flying.
Are you afraid of heights?
I'm not afraid of heights. Heights are perfectly fine, which is
the
why it was
fall.
fine being in a city in the sky.
Are you afraid of hitting the ground?
No, I'm just not a fan of flying.
Would it help
Especially
if
airplanes or dragons. And I lost
Aaron
someone
lets
very.
out a long sigh.
I lost someone very dear to me in an airplane crash.
And he'll
it's
look at you,
just-
Jane, and go, if you give me power, I could just make a car instead of a plane. Do you also not like cars?
No. There's a reason I was still traveling by horseback in the 21st century.
Electric
how did you get
scooter.
from one
Electric
continent to another?
scooter. Electric scooter.
I don't know if that would
a
be
moped?
terribly effective on a place with no concrete paths.
Is a half a day's walk. I will see you there. I am an adept traveler. You guys go ahead.
Jane, how about we fly and
We
stay
can
nearby
walk
her?
with Alice, yeah.
Yeah, we'll
No,
walk with Alice.
it's really fine. You don't have to. I can do it. I'm a big girl.
We don't doubt your
Hey, Aaron, can
abilities.
you make a little capsule?
If you put me in a capsule, I will not only, I will have a full-blown freak out. Absolutely not.
Claustrophobia is also a thing.
I'm
It's
not
Well, if it's-
claustrophobic. I would just be painfully aware that I'm now flying in a capsule that if is dropped, I will almost surely die.
No. Pretty much his stuff is indestructible.
It is
I'm not
indestructible.
indestructible, and I would be bouncing around in a little capsule.
You could have
Let's just-
harnesses.
If Alice wants to walk, Alice can walk. But
Yeah.
if you wouldn't mind, I think I at least would like to accompany you.
I will also accompany you because I don't feel like leaving anyone behind.
I really appreciate that. It's not necessary.
Too bad. We're staying.
It's more of
with
a
you.
matter of principle of we've had people kidnapped one too many times for
Yeah,
us.
Felix will
Yeah.
chime in. Splitting up has not been our group's best decisions ever.
Mhm.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. And then Alice will feel kind of bad about
Making
Spoiling
everyone
everyone's flight
walk
thing.
half a day instead of the many ways this group has found to get away on around walking.
What about I turn into a horse, Aaron makes a cart, and we go that way. Make it a little faster.
I could do that for a nods.
that's
It'd
totally
be
fine with me.
A very bright cart.
Fine.
And he makes the glowing cart.
Alice
Ally
kind of sits
turns
there
into-
awkwardly.
Ally turns into a horse.
Lovely.
Rope.
Then I will fly above and
Aaron will
look
hand you
out
the
from above.
ghostly, the glowing reins.
They're slightly solid. They're not the right consistency for a rope.
Yeah. And Adelaide tugs away.
Okay. Then you get there, and instead of half a day, it's about quarter day's ride. So you about
Yay.
half the time off your journey.
I'll just be flying around above.
And the familiar city of Ashbourne to some of you. Alice, this is a completely new sight to you.
Ooh.
And
But it
this-
does kind of look just like a colored version of Chasir. Except with a grand ebony tower and the actual sapphire palace and the Fendergall Mountains behind it. It is bustling as always. It is not as quiet as Seer was, though it is not as loud as Skystad was on a scale of cities, quiet to loud. Ashbourne is somewhere in the middle of that line.
Adelaide's tempted to use a tourist voice, like a tour guide's voice, and start
On
pointing
your
out
left,
places.
you have the cafe that me and Jasper stayed at, where we were waiting for the rest of them to catch up from not joining us flying. For the rest of the group, could not be small birds.
Alice will start to get off the cart and then realize she's with people and will just sit back down on the cart.
Yeah, do you guys go straight to the Sapphire Palace?
Actually, I'm gonna look for any new. Was this the place where the tree crimes were happening?
Yes, but first,
Okay.
you're coming in on a glowing cart. You are very obvious.
Oh God, no! Oh,
I hate
no.
to break it to you, but back on the mainland, people don't like you anymore.
Alice gets off the cart and grabs Felix.
High or low?
I'm flying above, and I'll just land and walk.
Emma,
Hi.
high or low? High or low?
High or low?
Yes.
I think you know which way I'm gonna go.
No, I don't. You have to tell me. Low?
Low.
Do you want to know what I rolled on this D100?
Yeah.
97.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know if that's good or not. But...
You chose low, and I rolled almost the highest you could
Oh, God.
possibly get. So pretty much immediately, people don't mob around you. They just clear the streets, whisper, go into buildings, shutters are closed. People are scared of you.
Mm-hmm.
This makes Alice really sad and then also really angry, and she gets off the cart and just is like, I'll walk.
And the city guards come out and they just watch you along all the streets.
Now Alice is pissed off because she's been grouped in with the Kingmakers.
Yes.
What did Alice expect? Alice has kind of been being grouped in with them.
Can I look for any new trees in the middle of the road?
There are none.
Roads? Okay.
It was
Oh, that's
mostly an
upper
upper
part of
class
town.
thing.
Upper class, right?
Yeah, and you never found a random tree, really.
True.
Just
You-
saying, it
you
would have been
heard-
safer to fly.
You heard about the random trees, but you did not witness to most of them. But you have a clear road to the palace. The guards just observe you on your way there.
Oh boy.
And the
This
gates
makes
to the
Alice
palace
grumpy.
do not automatically open upon your arrival. A familiar guard from one of the last times you were here calls down from the gate. State your business.
Say we come to select a chosen
Have we?
prince.
Have we though? We'd like to have a conference with the prince.
Wait here.
All right.
The guard disappears behind the gate, but two more take its place.
Figured. Just out in the open, hands up. Make sure this doesn't help because we're magic. But,
Alice is
Adelaide
like
pretends to be an actual
cheering on
horse.
these guards mentally, like, you go, guys.
Do your jobs.
Yeah. Alec is probably in the cart like, oh my god, Alice, stop.
Please stop cheering on people maybe arresting us.
Adelaide's
Maybe.
pretending to be an actual horse and not someone who has turned into a horse.
But the horse just talks.
Just feeds Adelaide hay.
Oh god. This is what you get for pretending to be a horse.
Yes, she does. Alice does exactly that.
Adelaide spits it back out like a camel at you.
I take up an apple and hand it to her.
Well, Pebbles, that was a little odd.
Yeah, Pebbles. Why do you not want to eat hay? It's your favorite snack.
Cades will flick both of you with his two butterfly wings as he's in butterfly form right now. Stop it. Now is not the time.
You're right.
Adelaide's just
Alice
going
in
to
her
be...
head is like, yeah, but Adeline mostly brought this upon herself, so...
Adelaide's just thinking right now, why Pebbles out of all the names that you could have called me as a horse?
Buttercup is better than Pebbles.
There is a distinct reason for that, and that is in my notes. Alice's first horse was named Pebbles.
Ah, that
So
makes a lot
I'm
more
glad
sense
there's a
now.
real reason for Pebbles.
Yeah.
The guard comes back. All right. Be on your best behavior. We'll be watching.
Understandable.
And the gate
when they open the door,
slowly shifts.
Ella leads the cart in, still pretending to be a horse.
Considering you don't have anyone in your back leading you, you're a very good, well-behaved horse.
Aaron's there. He's at the front.
Very clever horse.
Yes, Aaron is driving. As in, holding the other end of the rope awkwardly.
True.
Alice will like really whisper to Alec. I still think we should turn her in.
Oh right, she's not an. How did?
She never faced trial.
Alec will whisper back. That is entirely up to you. I don't think I should be speaking on human law.
True.
I think 50 people is worth a little bit of betrayal.
I
As
think
Kelly, I would like to add that she did try to stop it.
And she didn't do it in this country either, so.
it would be a whole extradition process.
Yeah, it would. She'd have to be moved to the other
And
one.
are the
back
trade
and tried there.
masters still alive? Do we know? Did anyone check on them?
No clue, because you got everyone to leave town.
Yeah.
So the city was empty as far as you knew. So all the refugees are in a different town.
Yeah.
And you didn't exactly count heads.
Yeah, true.
You were in a bit of a hurry. The next guards that meet you all have active blue heart.
Fair enough.
When they lead you into the palace.
Hands up, respect. It's just smart move. Good. You guys.
Yeah,
are
Alice
doing
is
well
back
on your
there
job.
like, go back.
Like, just you guys are doing well with your job.
The palace lies still, for the most part. It's very empty inside, besides the rustling of guards besides you.
Was Adelaide left in the courtyard?
Yeah. And eventually, like, a horse bastard comes in and starts leading you toward a stable.
Once he's gone, I'm going to turn into a falcon and disappear.
Where do you go? Do you go back?
I joined them.
You find, like, an open window. I was here the whole time.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of the group because you're so short. Just was here whole time.
We become a circle around her, and then she disappears, and then we just separate again. As far as I know, she's been
No, actually, Adelaide does not turn back into any human form. She stays in the smallest bird possible form and sits on someone's shoulder.
Oh God.
Whose shoulder do you sit on?
Aaron, since he hates me the least.
That's a big ask, but okay.
Aaron will not swat me away.
He won't. He'll just let it happen, but he will sigh, just... And you are led into, again, a familiar dining hall for some of you, although it is not as formally decorated. So last time you were there, in fact, seemed to have had lots of decorations removed from it. Just Prince Rain is standing there. Eric's is in the room, though, just leaning against a wall, looking on. And he dismisses most of the guards. 2 of them stay at the door, though. And Prince Rain also has an active blue heart thing on them, but it's all just a ring.
Alice is once again smart.
Well, he looks at all of you. Welcome back, I guess. And he sits down.
Yeah.
There are
It's
both
lovely to
much
meet you.
less of you and different faces than last time. So, yes, it is a pleasure to meet you, Miss
I'm Alice, or Miss Klein, whichever you prefer.
Rain, and it is a pleasure. Oh, and that's Eric's. Point to his familiar, who will,
Alice will introduce herself in the same way.
and he'll nod, but he won't say anything. So, according to the guards, you've come in to speak to me about something.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was in fact the lie you made up to
Yep.
get into the palace.
And if I remember
Exactly a
right, he
lie.
was one of Jane's top picks.
He was a lot of your top picks. He did really well on that interview test, I guess.
It was Jane and Maddie, if
It
I
wasn't-
remember
it
right.
Yeah, he was
Complete lie.
Maddie's top pick, but,
Yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't
Maddie said he wanted him.
well,
It wasn't a complete
As-
lie. Alice wanted to meet him.
as I'm not a kingmaker, I kind of have just wanted to meet you. And then I'm going to excuse myself from this conversation and stand over there.
Should all of us that are not kingmakers just go stand in a corner? Alex
No.
says. Because I also feel like I should not be a part of this. Goodbye. And he goes to stand in a corner as well.
But it's lovely to, well, introduce myself to you. And may I say, you look exactly how I thought you would.
Like Snickers. I will take that as a compliment then, thank you.
And
You should.
you are well renowned from all of the 13 and 14-year-old girls I have ever
Puts
encountered.
his hand in his hands.
Whoa.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good to hear.
Oh.
But he looks at the rest.
Alice gets up and walks to the same corner as Alec.
How have you been since we last met?
Not a lot of good things have happened since we last met, I'm afraid.
Someone choose him, please.
Do you say that as a bird?
No.
It's just Tele willing this
Tele.
upon the universe.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
I haven't even described to you what has happened.
I'm sure. Like, obviously, it's bad. It's
Yes.
probably not even including the Orcar attack thing.
Yes, I'm to be king in a month.
Oh.
You're what?
From
I'm to be-
across the room, you hear, "Aww."
I am to be king in a month.
Oh,
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
My mother is currently sitting on the throne as regent.
I'm sorry for your loss. It's a terrible thing to have to go through.
My father lived a long time, and he died a hero on the battlefield.
True.
My sister did not get the same. She passed away the day after you left.
It's terrible.
You would recall the day after you left was his birthday.
Oh.
Oh my god, I'm assuming Alice is just getting overwhelming grief.
Yeah.
Alice, like, grabs onto Alec's, like, shirt and starts shaking it, and, like, she's crying, and she's like,
Alec just pats you awkwardly.
Oh. Wait, he was the one. Wait. I'm trying to remember if it was from a different campaign or this one where the prince said that he didn't actually want to be prince, or if that's a story I read a while ago. Too many stories.
I mean, this Prince Rain has expressed that he didn't want to be king this soon, because his father was already planning on stepping down after he turned 18,
Yeah.
which was his birthday anyway. So whether what he wanted or not, he was going to be king by the end of the year. The timeline
That's
just
right.
moved up a little.
Uh-huh.
So, to be honest with you, not great.
Yeah.
To continue to be honest with you, I'd asked you how you all were doing after you left, but I think
think
half
no.
the world knows how you were doing after you
Yeah.
left.
Mhm.
If a bird could blush out of
Just be a
embarrassment.
tomato.
Yes.
I don't think, did we tell you about how, since you're soon to be king, did we tell you what the, what is the place where the Orcars are called again?
The Denal. And
The
yes,
Denal.
you told them about the Denal has a culture and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't, everything we know, yeah? There's volcanoes on the Floating Islands, they have a system of government.
And to be fair, you did really not know those things the last time you went.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it now, and be like, so one of them attacked. There were 2 Orcars leading the attack. That's why it was so organized and everything. One of them was offshore, and it's pretty much her fault that she attacked, and I am sorry. Tremendously so.
Thank you for telling me that.
I recently found that owning up to your mistakes is a good idea.
Now, besides catching up, are you just here to catch up?
I mean, we were also here,
Adelaide mutters under her breath as a bird. We choose you.
Wait, did you just choose him?
Yep.
Yes. Oh no! Oh
Give me a second to recover from the bird basically sneezing. I choose you.
Sounds like a little pip pip.
Adelaide,
Oh god.
please roll me a singular d6.
Will do. Google, please work. 6.
Okay. You feel a start of a magic that you've never felt before, but you feel like you have to be a little more purposeful with your words. The bond breaks before it reaches him.
So that's how that works. Fine.
I'm gonna turn back.
I mean,
I
Aaron
turn.
looks at you and is... You're sitting on his shoulder, so he definitely heard you.
Adelaide is mentally thinking this. If I turn, someone's gonna shoot me like last time. Because I'm like the most hated right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't
really.
think he wants to be chosen by the most hated person who was an asset to murder.
You're not. You're just not.
Don't think it meant you had to say it louder. I think it just meant you had to be more specific with your words.
Yeah.
Has to be a carefully made decision.
I, Adelaide Ponterva, choose Prince.
It doesn't have to be more it doesn't have to be more formal.
Carefully made.
I'm not going to reveal the system that I'm using to make this work.
Okay.
She feels
So
bad
we're-
for the kid, but she trusts that this kid's gonna be a good king anyways. He was like second up next to Delta on her list because she didn't really want to
Well,
give up her promise.
again, if you make a rash and it's not going to work that well. There's a reason Alyssa waited like 3 hours and had a whole day with Sarah before he followed through.
We're also here to talk to Delavere. He's been doing some things behind everyone's back.
Unfortunately, Delavere and Drasilia are no longer in Ashbourne. They will return to the City of Fire, as is due for Fae without.
Oh, shit.
Chambers.
I look at Alec and I give him a questioning look.
Oh my god, did you not mention that before?
Alec looks up. Like,
I kind of like give him a like, do we want to leave look?
well, he nods because, like, your whole purpose of coming here was a conversation with Delavere.
Alice kind of glances at Felix and is just like,
He's sitting at the table, so he's not looking at you.
Let's see, what else? What else do we have to say? What else would be good for him to know?
I don't know, it's up to you.
Oh, last time we were here, there was that, serial killer going around.
Executed, he says very quickly.
Okay, that's good.
I should probably say keep an eye out for dragons. This is Tele.
Oh yeah, how far away are we? Like, since we got teleported, did it break because we got teleported so far away?
It takes a little time, but
Okay.
takes time and distance.
Oh yeah. Also, because of one of our mistakes, one of our many mistakes, many dragons got out. I believe 2 of them are now dealt with, but 1 is still loose.
Yes, we received news
Great.
earlier this week of the attack on Skystead and later in the week the attack on Solaris, which you guys did not know about, so he mentions that.
Attack on Solaris?
Except for the fact that, Sova told you that the dragons, one dragon disappeared and the other was made a cliff ornament.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he told you specifically where they attacked, but...
He didn't.
No, he just said... No,
Yes.
I think he did mention Solaris.
I feel like he did.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't catch it, because there was a lot going on in that conversation. But we have been wary as best we can.
Good.
Should probably mention that the border's going up soon. Unless that's
Wait.
part of them.
The border is an Everin-run magic project,
Okay,
so...
just making
Yeah, I know
sure.
that.
Okay.
Oh, also, do you want an updated, like, actually decent map on the Denal? Sort of
That would be fantastic. Did you keep
pull
the new
out
one that you got?
map? Yes.
Looks it over, scanned it with size.
Alice
I can
takes
keep
a
this?
picture of the map
Yes.
and
you
then
can keep it.
she pockets the picture and then just slides her map across the table. It's just like, here you go. I have one.
And he will
It's
pocket whatever
probably
map he
better.
can keep.
Probably better that you know what's out there. I believe that's all the business we had. So,
Very well then.
is that everything, you guys?
If that is all, I am sorry to be impolite, but I would suggest you hasten in leaving the city.
That is understandable. And I guess we leave, right?
Yep.
Adelaide flies out the window, quickly turns back into a horse.
Right on cue, the horse master comes to lead you back to the cart.
I was just imagining a stable boy went to like brush you up. I was like, "There's no horse here." Went back to tell the stable master.
Came back and there's a horse there! Yes, that is exactly what happened.
So as everyone leaves, Alice is probably gonna wait just a second while everyone else leaves the room, and then approach him just a last time. My deepest condolences.
Thank you for your wishes.
I don't think it'll mean much, but in my many years, when I'm trying to comfort someone, I do give them a gift or a token of appreciation. And she will reach into her pouch.
He stops you before you do. Unfortunately, I will not be able to keep anything you give me.
Understandable. I hope that one day my reputation isn't quite as tied with the Kingmakers, as I popped in at seemingly the exact wrong time, and that I may be able to return to this city as a onlooker. And then Alice will leave.
While this is happening, Erix and Alec are having some sort of eye contact conversation in the background.
Oh yeah, did you know that the Fae were free? Yeah, I did. Huh? Interesting.
It's like, oh, and you didn't tell me? Okay. I saw where the stand.
When they're just out of earshot of Prince Rain, Alice will be like, "Stop having eye sex and come on."
Alec rolls eyes. I'm actually having an disappointed mother conversation, so...
Disappointed mother conversation.
Which is, in fact, the opposite of eye sex, so... Lead on.
Alice grumpily, like, not grumpily, she probably leaves the room elegantly, and then immediately in the hallway is like...
Well, when you're done being a toddler, let me know.
I'm gonna ruin my reputation, and I may not just be able to explore the town.
Oh no. You're immortal. Wait a decade. There are other places. There's a Holdenall that doesn't give a shit.
It might be completely different in a decade.
Oh no. Whatever will you do?
I want to experience it now, as it is now.
I want to do it now.
Yeah, I want it now. Well, when you're done throwing a temper tantrum, I'll meet you on the cart.
I'm walking with him as I'm talking. Like, the whole point is experiencing culture as it's happening, and not 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line.
Right now, the culture seems pretty shit because a bunch of people just died. So maybe you wait 10 years and it'll be better.
Hopefully. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be disappointed.
You're allowed to be disappointed, but sounding like a spoiled toddler is a little different.
Yeah, that is... I was sounding disappointed, thank you very much.
I want to stay here now! Oh, boo them for ruining my reputation!
Surely boo them for ruining my reputation. Like, from what I've heard, in some cultures, mass murderer is not actually as bad as it is in other cultures.
Yeah, most Fae you meet won't give a shit.
Exactly.
And lots of Fae will just, like, actually, considering the mass murder you'll talk about, like, give you a participation trophy, actually.
I don't want that participation trophy, because most humans do not feel that way.
Very aware of that. But suck it up. It was only one person that did this, and ruined the whole group's reputation, so I bet everyone's feeling the same way as you. In fact, you could probably figure that out.
Oh yeah, I feel it. Why do you think I'm expressing it so much more than everyone else? What do you think is constantly being poured into me?
I'll never understand.
You
I feel like my empathy works very differently.
No, because your empathy is you sense emotions. My empathy is I feel what they are feeling.
No, my empathy works the same way. Thank you very much. I think I'm just hundreds of years older than you.
It kind of sucks to have 7 people around me all feeling the exact same way, and then people be
Do you
like,
want
"Why
do
are
you
you
want me to
reacting
like
so
look at a
strongly?"
picture of a bunny and feel happy for you so you can draw off of some happy feelings?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just send happiness away then.
Okay. I will
And
do my best.
I'll
to
send
change the
I'll
happiness.
send some patience because it feels like that's what you're gonna need.
No, yeah, I'm lacking in patience right now. There's a lot going on.
Eventually, you all get on the cart. Okay, but the City of Fire, Alex is saying as you're all putting away, is insanely long drive cart ride.
Yeah.
Well, Alice reaches into her bag and pulls out a little vial. How long of a flight?
Well,
That medicine.
the City of Fire is also the place that we could teleport to the most easily. Because
There's a butt there.
Teleport to right
it's where they are. So it'd be really easy to do that.
That would be my preference.
It would just be teleporting us, gestured to him with a kids, in the middle of the worst place to be.
Your call. I can sleep. I shake the medicine.
I mean, we're going there either way.
Are we still in the city, or are we finally out of there? Can Adelaide talk?
Yes, you're out of the city now.
Thank God. So, as a horse, Adelaide says...
Oh, Pebbles, you can talk. How nice.
Oh, shut up. If anything, Kate can just pretend to be a familiar to one of us again, and... you can muddle everybody, I guess.
I mean, I look human, so I can just be a human.
Yes.
But I wasn't worried about us being in physical danger. It's just a bad place to go. Memory-wise.
Sorry?
It was our capital city.
Oh.
No, why don't you want that place? They want that place back.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, it kind of makes sense considering every year that goes by, they find a little more pieces of our capital city and make sure to destroy it ineffably.
How did they not find it? Like, is it hidden by
Magic.
or something?
Magic and mazes and being a city for a very long time.
Good to see humans are still the same here as they were at home.
Mm-hmm. That I have to agree with. Humans are...
But Alec will dig around in a pack. I do have a teleportation stone. I can't use it, though.
Why not?
Human magic powers it.
Well, none of us can use it.
I know. That's the problem.
So flying?
Wait, can I try to touch this teleportation stuff?
You can try to use it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to use it with everybody nearby.
Yeah, roll me 2d6s.
Kate's end up in a completely random this teleportation. This is showing malfunction.
Yeah, Kate does kind of wrinkle his nose at it like, bad memories.
Emma just kind of goes to try it without even...
Yeah, Kate will say, make sure you're thinking of the City of Fire. Make sure you're thinking of it, or we will end up scattered across the continent.
Question, what does the City of Fire look like? So I don't, get us in the middle of a wall of fire.
You don't need to have been to the location, just picture the place's
Awesome.
name.
Okay, everybody, hold hands, kumbaya, let's go.
What did you roll?
I wrote a 7.
Yay!
I feel like maybe I should have done this one.
And off onto the other side of the continent we
Oh,
go.
God.
Everyone except the people that need to be there get teleported. So it's like Alice, Felix, and Alec are left standing in a field like, huh.
You forgot Kate.
Kate's just... Well, alright then.
So Cage just gets teleported to the direct heart of the city, like alone in front of.
No, he gets teleported to the same place he went when the travel stone went wrong the first time.
Oh no!
That exact road.
Oh god, no.
Because he's definitely thinking of it now that he's seen it again. He's like, but no, actually, the teleportation goes off without a hitch. It is weird because you're not drawing on Athena to use it.
Ooh.
Theoretically, we could do human magic.
I mean, you are in fact, believe it or not,
Human.
still human.
Odd.
There's a crackle, and you come on a teleportation circle, just outside the city fire, which is on an island in the middle of a huge lake. You can't see the other end. It looks like you're just on an island in the middle of the ocean, as far as you're concerned. But there's a huge bridge leading out to the end, and some ferries coming in and out. It seems quite busy. You see the infamous silent train floating up on Earth magic. Occasionally you see presumably mages in uniforms that are powering it. Every so often, like bringing it to a steady stop and then making it go again.
It's rather disappointing that all of this magic is so destructive. So
And
pretty.
useless.
The city's quite huge. The island is fairly sizable.
Like, that can easily be mechanically made.
But the thing is usually with places who have abilities other than mechanics to make things, they're going to prefer the easier access to magics instead of mechanics. So yes, feasibly, that train can be produced, but it's not going to be nearly as effective or efficient.
Also, you guys haven't seen coal here.
Yeah, and that was going to be Alice's next point. Coal is a non-renewable resource, so even if they had it, and judging by the way that I'm assuming continents were made magically, they probably don't. That'd be very difficult to power.
Electric
Yeah.
trains.
And people walk with familiars by their side around the city everywhere. It seems very commonplace. And most of the people are quite young, in uniforms of different colors.
Can I
The
check
same,
the
same
like,
hat.
did that just pull on the web thing when I did that? Like normally we'd our magic with it, but that time it took.
That's how human magic works. That's how
I
human
can't
magic
imagine how
works.
much human magic pulls in that string just by running a
Must be
train 5 times a day.
Yeah, this must be a major
That's
drain
exactly
spot.
why I said I was so disappointed that all of this beautiful magic is so destructive, because
I don't know.
look at the technological wonders built
And I'm
by-
agreeing with that.
Used to be, if you're disappointed with this train, you should be just as disappointed with real life trains.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
true.
Speaking of electricity, do you know how electricity is produced?
Not good ways.
Some
90% of the time it's still through the burning of non-renewable resources.
And then there's like,
So you can't really skip straight to the electricity part without the burning of resources part.
there's also solar panels, but even that.
That is way out of this world's reach right now.
And solar panels
Not
are
only that,
also
but
made
precious
out
metals.
of precious metals and precious
Wait.
stones that are like non-renewable resources.
True.
There are
Nay.
very few options.
Nay.
The horse. Are you the horse?
Yep.
got teleported on the
At first I
card.
thought you were saying no, and I was like, no, that's true.
That's 9.
But so we're on the outside of the city.
No, nay is not 9. Or you're talking in actually.
But if you say N-A-Y, that can still mean no. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's also a word
Like
for...
A, like I, or
Hey, maybe we
nay,
should get rid
yeah,
of this
okay.
glowing cart.
Yeah, are we still on the outside of the city, or are we transported into the city?
You're on the outside, but it's still quite metropolitan even on the outside because it's docks and ferries and people traversing the bridge on their own carts or people teleporting in on their own stuff.
Yeah, we should find a way to ditch the Kingmaker cart and then traverse by foot.
Hey, Adeline might want to not be a horse. Pebble.
Let's go into like an alley or something.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then have
gonna
Adeline
search
not be
out
a
the nearest
horse.
alley and dark alley place to de-transform. Are we just gonna ditch the cart, glowing cart in an alley?
Yeah.
Just imagining.
It'll make
Alice
someone
doesn't
happy for a
actually
short
know
time.
how Aaron's magic works.
The guards in the city are definitely all magic as well because they have Blue Heart by their side, but also like wands and things of that nature. And some of them seem quite young as well, as if like apprentice guards train here.
Well, we're gonna go into a dark alleyway and
Get your horse back into a person shape.
yeah.
Or into a bird shape so no one recognizes the murder asset that she is.
Oh,
There
hey,
are
Alice, that's
no
both I
such
gave
thing as
you.
pictures in this world except for the ones that Alice takes. So the best they got is a semi-inaccurate sketch.
Okay.
So you'll probably be okay as Adeline. Alice
Hey,
wants
that
to like
cloak you have. Can I
help
have a
Felix out of the cart, but while she's helping him down, be like, "Hey, can you stick close to me in the city?
He furrows his brow.
I'm feeling kind of iffy right now."
He continues to furrow his brow, but does so anyway. With the furrowed
Hey,
brow
Alice.
the whole time.
Hey, Alice, can I have that cloak of unnoticeability back? You're
Oh,
not.
absolutely! I give it
Thank
back
you.
to her.
Put it on. Make sure it's active. Just.
Oh, I think I already deleted it.
Unnoticeable.
Like I gave it back to you. I must have just forgot to say, "Hey, I'm giving you your
Yeah.
cloak back."
Okay. You guys enter the City of Fire.
Oh, wait, I still have that tracking arrow on her. Forgot about that. So I just have a general idea of where the Denal is at any given time. Lovely.
At least you know which way's north.
Mhm. A built-in tracking homing system.
The city is quite busy on all streets. It is bustling. It is pretty much a simulation of what a very active college town would be like. Because it is
Reminds me
where
of
the
home.
School of Magic is. So it's a lot of younger aged people running around, getting from like tower to wizard tower for classes. Some with familiars by their side. A lot of people in the City of Fire have access to familiars because that's where they're kept.
So where would we find the people we're looking for?
Good question.
Well, I have an easy way to solve this. Alec gets out a sending stone. Hey, Delavier. We're coming to talk to you.
Cades in the back wrinkles nose.
Yeah, just like, why am I here expression. The only time Cades has ever had a why am I here expression on his face, it's right now. I'm coming to talk to you. You don't have a choice. We'll find you eventually. Make it easier on us. Where are you?
Wait, Delavia has a new owner. That makes it harder for him to operate.
Does he have a new owner yet?
Not yet, probably not. It's so weird to say new owner. That's just
Yeah,
sounds so
it's wrong.
Oh.
Alec waits like he's getting a response back. Okay, that tower over there. And then he
I
points
was half
at one of
expecting
the
him
taller ones.
to say, "Go F yourself."
That tower over there.
Lovely.
He points at the largest tower, which is connected to an oddly constructed palace. A lot of the windows are made out of huge stained glass panels that seem very intricate, very old, but very well kept. There are still clearly some artifacts of what the City of Fire once was preserved in town. there is, you walk by an amphitheater that looks much older than the rest of the newer city built on top of the remnants of the City of Fire. An obelisk with some writing that, if you stop to observe, is a small poem or song, specifically about something called the Dance of Death.
Oh, that dance.
Alice knows what that is.
Yeah, most of you know what that is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Although in this song it does seem quite grimly depicted.
No surprise.
Alice
And-
quirks an eyebrow at it because that's like not like Alec talked about it, but he didn't really talk about it like it was grim. He talked about it like it was like, when we're done, we're done. We just,
Yeah.
or if we do something so horribly irrecoverable, which I guess that is grim.
Occasionally some of the buildings are definitely like of non-human construction because they are architecture the likes of which that normal human architectural procedure would probably not be able to achieve.
So sort of like the Castlevania castle, which is incredibly unbalanced.
That's a lot of, that defies gravity. That defies gravity.
How is that still standing? Is that still standing?
It's like the Leaning Tower of Pizza, but more extreme.
Almost at a 90-degree angle.
Doing some loop-de-loops.
Just spins occasionally.
Upside down
So
on the
everything is quite elegantly constructed, though some buildings are in like arch shapes. So there are very few of these buildings remaining. It appears the only buildings that are remaining like this are ones that could be used by humans and repurposed into other things.
This reminds me a little bit of home. Looks like a college town, kind of.
And you walk up to the grandly constructed palace that has more stained glass than wall.
Mood.
In large pieces of glass.
How are we planning to get in here? We can't exactly pull the card.
No. That probably wouldn't work, Alex said. Honestly, I didn't think about it. You're all kind of standing awkwardly on the edge of this grand central palace.
Mm-hmm. Look around, see if there's any people just going in and out.
There are. Like, the door is open, but it is clearly, like, people in the student uniforms.
Good.
What's their age like? Are they like college age or Felix age?
Ranging. The different color of uniform seems to mark different age groups.
Alice is glancing consideringly between Felix and the students, but not
Adela is looking the same. Hmm. Do you know where we can get a uniform?
What? No, that's not what I.
That's
That's not what I was thinking about at all. Instead of that, Alice looks at Felix. Have you ever considered maybe going to magic school? Like for real, not just for a uniform to.
Alec is the one that puts his finger up, though. That's not how this works.
Uh,
Magic is pretty rare in most humans. You're scouted and you're brought here.
Good to know. But that isn't a horrible idea either.
If we're really stuck on ideas.
Yeah.
I'd just fly up to him.
I don't know his exact location. I know he's in the vicinity.
We could just go in and
Cades
see what
frowns.
happens.
I know his exact location.
Right, because you're good at detecting. Too bad Adelaide can't turn the rest of us into flies or something to fly up there.
We could just go inside and see what happens, see if we're turned away.
I think we're gonna be turned away pretty fast. And probably shunned.
So what is the plan? What do you do?
How do I fly up?
Then we'll just walk right up. We can always just try. And that's
Adela will stay outside. Just in
I'm
case.
not going in with Jane. I'm gonna blend into the shadows of
Does
it.
anyone go in with Jane?
Alice does, because she's the one that said it.
Hey,
And also is the one that is
okay.
going to be able to hide the least, so.
Mm-hmm.
Alec will follow, but Kades will stay outside. And will glare up at presumably the general location of Dalavier.
Alice will mentally note it.
It seems to be, there's a balcony jutting off the main tower.
I could fly up there. I really could, but I really don't want to bring attention to it.
Do you want me to go up there to say hello?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we'll see how Jane fares in there. And then I can go fly up if that's needed.
Okay, so for those of you who went inside the palace, it is a hustle and bustle of students. You stand out immediately because you're the only ones not wearing the uniform. You get strange looks, and eventually an older student in a dark purple uniform will walk up to you. Excuse me, can I help you with something?
yes. Ashley, do I know if the king's relics hold power in
No clue. They are an Andrathis kind of focused thing, and this is the Skystad, not the Skystad, the Everin School of Magic. Andrathis has its own thing they do. They have their own mages guild that they handle magic with.
Yeah. Because I know that this blade is supposedly representing of those good at heart.
It's funny.
I know it's only allowing me to use it because I'm a Kingmaker, but they don't know that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, would I assume it had any negative
Again, you have no clue and no way of having a clue.
I think I'll just...
If you don't say anything, she taps her foot impatiently.
No, she'll say yes, we're looking for Delavier.
She blinks a bit.
Right?
Alec looks up at this guy like, oh dear God. And then we'll lift off from there. We just came from Ashbourne. The prince sent us here to keep track of his father's old fae.
Thank God for Alec.
Very good roll for convince!
Thank God for Alec.
Thank God for Alex.
Well, let me go get the professor then, and I'll be right back. Please wait here.
Alice will kind of lean back and just be exuding and
Thank you.
impressed?
Impressed, but Alec looks like he just dodged a bullet. He's like...
Alice will kind of say that
it worked out, so it's fine.
that was a very smooth.
Live
You're
long
on
enough.
a roll today.
You live long enough. What are you doing?
Emma's still outside.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just
gonna
us
wait there
three.
because she has no way of knowing that they successfully infiltrated.
Here into the window. The colored
No.
window.
You don't see anything through. They're not see-through.
Yeah,
They do give the impression of stained glass, but they are, clearly magical.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay in the shadows.
Looks down at her probably dirty, weirdly colored dress, and is like, I feel like we should have, prepped this and acted and dressed the part at the very least.
Well, she bought it for now, so we'll see how this goes. If anything, we can say we were robbed on the road or something.
Can you repeat what the excuse was out of character?
We just came from Ashbourne. The prince sent us here to check on his father's old fae.
Okay. That's so okay.
Good lie. It really is.
It is.
So it wasn't a lie.
Yeah.
We were just in Ashbourne. True. Sent by the prince. Not true.
Not true.
To check on his old fae.
True.
True.
It's a true sandwich.
It is a true sandwich.
True
Makes it more
sandwich.
convincing.
Yeah, more palatable. Can't taste the lies under the good bread.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I'm writing that
That's
down.
always how you want to lie to someone. True, false, true.
Anyway. Eventually, you can see the student with a more severe-looking woman of darker skin with long, curly, dark brown hair, who is not wearing the student's uniform, but is wearing, like, a magical-looking robe, basically. It points you out, and she walks up to you. So I have heard you all been sent by the prince to see, to check in on how the progress with the fair we received recently is going.
Fact we have.
Precisely.
Very well then. Follow me. She leads you up a set of spiral stairs near the back. She opens a door with a long set of keys and also a magic spell. The stairs almost seem like they're made of stained glass.
Can I wait? Does she do like vague gestures or something audible that I can take note of?
Just vague gestures. And the key.
And the key, yeah.
I'd have had it. No, don't. Please don't.
I'm not going to.
Takes you up to a main chamber. And knocks on the door, and presumably a member of the staff opens it. But as soon as she walks in, you see a familiar-looking eagle, a hawk thing, swoop over, and her eyes cloud for a moment, and she just, there you are, and turns and walks away. And Sova lands back. Astrala is also here, sitting on the desk on the other end of the room. There is no sign of like a headmistress, and looking closer at the serving people who opened the door, they are actually quite poorly made constructions, probably solid illusions made by Astrala.
Oh, lovely.
And Olivia is sitting at the balcony by a chessboard.
Alice will kind of gesture forward to Alec, and then Alice will take a step beside the door and just kind of lean back against it.
Alec will walk right up and sit on the other side of the chessboard by Olivia. And he'll say, practicing? And Dahlia will give him an odd look, then snort. Well, I need to, don't I? I don't know, you always beat me. He sits down. There are some other unfamiliar fae in the room. And some more familiar. Some perhaps even concerningly familiar. As on another side of the room, sitting next to a table, looking on and looking a little awkward, is Catalina.
Oh.
Lovely.
Any emotion fae in the room just feels like unending rage come from Alice.
I'm not there.
Next to her is a shorter fae woman with a long foxtail and ears. The general foxish appearance. Her skin tone is dark red and her hair is the same color, so she looks a lot like the animal of it. She's clearly taken with. And she's appeared to have been talking lowly to Catalina, and when Catalina froze up and started looking at her, she like looked at her weirdly and like snapped a finger in front of her face a couple times.
From Jane, the emotion Fae will just feel disappointment.
Harsh.
My mouth shut and just lean against the wall.
But, and there are a couple more Fae in the room. One is fully silver, looks like fully made of silver. Another has bird-like features in a very similar way to Sova, but much more colorful and exuberant. Yes. And then another still, and I think the last new unfamiliar face in the room is in animal form. A snake curled on a bookshelf. The snake is black in color. But Sova actually looks over to all of you while Alec and Dalvia are talking. Well, I feel like I've just seen you all.
Odd.
Travel fast.
We try.
Looks his head. And rises in human form. Well, looks at Alec and Dalvia. It seems like a private conversation.
Yeah.
And points to the door.
Alice kind of looks to Alec for like a thumbs up.
Alec is very distracted at this moment. Seems to already be in a deep conversation while also playing chess.
Alice will nod, but like be concerned but step in the hallway anyways.
Looks at the rest of you. Oh, the rest of you being Jane.
Downstairs, yeah, Jane.
My brain is like,
It's broken.
Alex
yes,
kind of holds the door open for
yeah,
you.
okay,
and is
I
just
will
like,
follow Alice then. Thank you.
This is the door behind you.
I sit there.
You just kind of sit awkwardly in the hallway.
And wait.
A
anxiously.
conversation literally going on behind closed doors behind you.
Is it a too quiet conversation, or is it a conversation we can eavesdrop on?
You're sitting quite far away from the room, and the room is quite big. So, there is a secondary group.
Yep.
Secondary group, sitting outside. Your friends don't call you back.
I'm sorry, Bird. This is what's happening over dinner.
Well,
They've
I
been gone
think
like a minute or two. So either something really terrible happened or it all went well.
Kates, do you know if they're in there?
They're up there.
Are they alive?
I don't think I'd be able to sense them if they died.
Just making
True.
sure. Should we join them or just wait down here? I'm not really sure what to do here.
However they got up there, I'm not sure it's going to extend to us.
Mm-hmm.
I can blend in, maybe. Because I have this cloak.
Well, the Kingmakers
You
are on
can
the
turn
outside
in-
of the room.
That's weird.
So, we'll look at you two. What would you like to do? I mean, Adelaide could turn into small animals and go up and eavesdrop if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm stuck here. I can fly, but that's not going to help me, because I don't know how to get up there, even if I do manage to sneak in.
Yeah.
I think I'll just stay here. You guys can eavesdrop. take a walk around the block or something. No, I'll stay with the kids.
Stay with the cart. Babysit. Emma drew the straw today, so she's babysitting.
Yep.
Adeline?
Yeah?
You eavesdropping?
Yes, I turn into the smallest animal I can think of that's not a water bear, and
The mouse or
one that can fly, so maybe like a tit.
What?
A tit. It's a small fluffy bird.
It's a fun name.
How do you spell that? Is that how I think it's spelled?
Yes, it's how you think it's spelled.
Anyway, you fly up there. Cades turns into a butterfly, and you both find perches sort of not in sight, so you can't really see what's going on. But you get, as you fly up, you catch a glimpse of a chessboard.
Playing games already.
For the most part, the room is kind of like deadly silent.
Do we see everyone who's in there?
You fly past. There are no humans in this room.
Is there a window into the hallway?
No.
Chance?
No.
Damn.
Well, maybe, but it's at the under end of the hall, so you'd have to do some work to get attention.
Mm.
Eventually, Alex speaks up. Well, congratulations on your success. Moves a piece forward. Dalavia responds, somehow that feels like a backhanded compliment. It's not really even a compliment. Moves the piece forward. And that's why I didn't send the letter to you right away. Dalavia moves another piece forward. You didn't send it to Silvus before me, did you? I need to know. The audible sound of rolling eyes. I sent it at the same time. That does make me feel better, but okay. Well, you have your goal. What are you planning on doing with it? Same thing I always planned. With the Storyland's over, it would be easier to take control quietly of the City of Fire. Or very loudly, of the City of East Hollow. Are your two options really forceful invasion and or mind control powered invasion? I've lived with humans for almost 500 years now. My opinion of them hasn't changed. Dalavia said. No, I didn't expect it to. But this is all things you already knew. What did you actually come in to talk about? Well, some of the stuff I expected. I take it you're going to work out the kinks in the ritual before you do anything more. Yes, that would be the general idea. And then my second addendum, about the other part of the letter. What the fucking hell? Possessed you to make such a drastic action against people who have been relatively on your side in terms of morals. In fact, I think if you had approached them in most other fashions, you would have gotten pretty solid allies. But instead, You did the actual worst thing I could think of. Just to see if it would work. If it makes you feel any better, the ritual would apply the same way. For some reason, it doesn't make me feel better. How long have the Kingmakers been here? 2 months? 3? And how long has been this going on? The same amount of time? I mean, I always knew you were a hypocrite. But this is quite a bit more than that. Are you trying to actively sabotage whether or not we make it into the future? They are, you know, determining our very fate. Exactly why this was necessary. And this is the conversation I'm back to again. I wrote Violet our bargain. For the most part. For the most part. Aren't you the one who said that we would take each other by our words? Yeah, that was before you broke your word, like 20 times in the course of centuries. In the course of, oh, yes, I had a lead. You know that part of the contract where we agreed to fill each other in on when we made progress? And you know what you explicitly didn't do? Fill me in when you made progress? A piece slams down on the chessboard very loudly. And I do regret that. Yes, I'm sure you regret quite a bit of things. What do you want me to do to make it up to you? I have the longest laundry list of things you could even start to do to make up things that you have actively messed up over centuries of your life and actively chosen not to learn any lessons from. And then actively pulled a bunch of hapless fools along with you. You get the feeling he gestured to the rest of the room. Because somehow the silence gets just a little more awkward, like someone coughs.
Adelaide mentally is going like, oh. Oh.
First of which is undo your mistake. Undo for it, and confess to it to the people who should actually know about it. If you want to keep it a secret, fine, that's part of our bargain. We don't give information to people who are not Fae. That was one of the things we said, and I'm willing to stick to that. For the most part. Except for this. If you don't tell them, I will tell them, and that I am almost sure the next course of action will be taking that pretty little king's relic and stabbing it through your heart. In a bad mood much? Are you... Olivier, you're a pompous asshole sometimes, you know that? You have told me. On multiple occasions. Okay, just letting you know. And you hear the sound of a chair turning. And you all know that too, right? That you're serving someone who is so self-serving as to go against his own queen when she was still living, to make a deal he didn't know would follow through on until centuries later. They were worked out now. What about tomorrow? Or the day after that? When do those little house of cards you've built come crashing down? Because, seriously, a light wind could blow down all your intricate schemes. And about the other things in the letter. I believe you on that, and I agree with you on part of it. I don't agree that we should go messing with the dead. I don't agree because that is the part you specifically need me for. I don't agree with you signing off on people making simulacrums of themselves. When you have me, you could have just asked me. You could have just asked if you needed more faith, if you needed more people to stand by your side. Of course, they probably would have been nicer because they don't have the same long-held grudges as you. So maybe you were just looking for people who would be yes-men. But it's on you, I suppose. I didn't think you'd agree to make more Fae for our purposes. At the time, you're probably right, but if you told me the alternatives you were seeking, I might have. Now, some other things about the letter that I had some questions about. Of course, most of it is nothing new. What do you think 10 years from now? 20? A whole century? What do you think you'll be doing, Delavere? What do you think you'll get out of this? Do you think you'll get what you want? You'll get your city, or you'll get an exterminated human population, and you'll go back to singing La La Land, and Alshana will rise from her grave and thank you for following through on the destiny she laid out for you. She's dead, and she'll stay dead. And even if you plan on recycling her magic, she will still stay dead. It will not be her that you bring back. And it will not be her that you put on the throne. Although I do appreciate that you didn't plan on putting yourself on the throne. Because I do agree with that. You would be an exceptionally horrible leader. I can always count on you to be brutally honest. Yep. Check. You hear a piece move forward. Checkmate. Well, I owe you a drink. Now, can I bring the others in, and you can follow through on the one condition so we keep this contract active? Because I really don't have to inform Evan that he gets to go back to doing what he did before the war. Very well. I figured that would be what he'd say. So you agree to my terms? Yes. And for the rest of you, on the inside, the door opens, they look out at you. Zobo does, and gestures for you to come in.
Alice tries not to make it obvious, but any emotion Faye can feel the extreme amount of relief on her face. Or not on her face. She tries to cover it, but...
No one in the room looks happy. In fact, most people in the room look anywhere from, like, deeply unhappy to deeply irritated. Although Alec and Delavier are similar levels of unreadable.
Alice is just gonna assume that Alec let him have it, and...
Delavier gets up. Do you have other companions in the city with you right now?
We have a couple, yeah.
Would you like them to be here for this conversation?
I looked at Alec questioningly.
Alec shrugs and looks between you and Jane.
Probably. I'll accept the youngest, too.
Very well. Delvir walks out of the boundary, walks out onto the balcony, looks up straight at where you and Cades are perched. Well, why don't you two come in?
I'm just down there looking like, oh, shit.
Figured as much.
Oh, I feel bad. These kids are gonna have to make their own choices, though. The youngest.
And you look at Silva. Can you go get dressed? Yeah. And
I'm
Silva
just
flies
literally
down.
right below the balcony.
I
Hi.
understand that Ezekiel and Alyssa are probably going to have to make their own choices, yes. But that doesn't mean we can't pre-screen conversations that might end...
But yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Eventually, everyone is clambered up.
Allies back in human form.
Agreed. Sorry.
Delamere looks up at the ceiling, as if he is struggling to find the words to say something. When you all most of you, first arrived in Athara, I made the wrong assumption about you. We saw that you were human, and I assumed the worst. But then I did a little digging, and I found a way to skirt my assumptions and give myself some security. When you first came to Althara, I had a group of my more loyal soldiers set up to ambush one of you on the road to Ashbourne. We got one of you.
Oh. You kidnapped a child, is what you're saying.
I'm actually not talking about that.
He's
We will
talking
get
about
there.
Jamie.
Talk about Jamie, yeah.
Amy?
Yes, Jamie was kidnapped
Jamie!
in the first
Right.
episode.
Who we came and
Yeah.
rescued from Ashbourne.
Yeah.
Rescued?
Quote unquote rescued. We didn't realize that he was mind control. This is out of character.
Yeah. We're just correcting Sonia.
Yeah.
Hey.
But we'll say
I
no,
just
it was
said his name,
Jamie.
okay?
We'll say no, it was Jamie aloud.
We also know
Yeah.
he's the reason that he got kidnapped, yes? Not Jamie, but Ezekiel,
And
right?
you know Estrella was involved.
Yeah.
Darla was involved.
And by connection, Delavere.
Yeah.
I made the wrong assumption, and I didn't realize I had made it until much later. By then, it was much too late to undo the mistakes that I had made. You are all part Fae in your magic. You are susceptible to the same weaknesses that we are. Same vulnerabilities, same magics, same rituals. And I have been doing a lot of research into one particular ritual for the last few centuries. And I made you develop use of it to...
Did you bind one of our friends?
He did it to Jamie.
my assurances.
Did you bind Jamie?
He sighs. Yes.
That
I did.
explains that.
I do regret it after having met you.
Who did you bind him to? Yourself?
No, I'm afraid I cannot do that. But he does flick his gaze towards Strala.
You bound him
To
to
person who created simulacrums of themselves. So that they were no longer one whole person.
Yes. Astrona was our agent in charge for most part of Evrim territories. So she was the one I put in charge of this.
including kidnapping a child.
Jamie, Has he passed away so I can make a note so his next of kin can be notified?
He is not dead.
No, Alice is asking them. If they know.
No, he is still alive.
He was part of the Mere Groves group. You guys know that?
Yeah. He's in the Mirror Groves right now.
And what are you going to do to fix this?
Well, now that I have a way to undo the binding, and he looks over at Alec and Alec nods, I will undo it.
Good.
I want to know. I want to ask him how to do the unbinding ritual, but
It's not gonna happen.
I know.
Not even would say.
Cause like Jane is like, I've done that before. I would love to be able to do that without having people die.
I'm going to turn to Estrella and be like, what was the reason behind kidnapping 8? Who's 8 at the time, yeah?
Jamie?
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel's like 4.
4.
Ezekiel's 4.
Ezekiel's a 4.
Yeah, 4. That's the first thing that came to mind. No, 8 is Alyssa.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning behind kidnapping a 4-year-old?
Oh, well, that was a Sylvis plot, not this room plot. And it involved a series of foresight. When Sylvis asks you to do something, he usually just do it. He generally knows what will happen if you do something.
Can I ask whose finger that was?
Yeah, that too.
Illusion.
Right on our mind.
An illusion I constructed.
Oh.
Relieved sigh from all of us.
Emotion spike of relief.
Anything else?
Anything else you'd like to admit to doing?
And probably other things that I will answer to at different times, but not today.
So how exactly do you plan on getting... Are you going to tell Jamie, or does he already know?
A lot of the other Fae in the room sort of like sigh as if... And it is pretty hard not to know.
That is gonna fuck you over.
I understand. And if you wish to punish me for it, that can be done.
I think you
Only
should
after
live with
I am
your
done.
guilt.
Alex
Hello,
wants...
dear?
At least a little bit of it. Do you not feel even a little guilty for doing what has been done to you to others? You were wrong about them, and then you did that. You have guilt for that, yes?
You feel guilty now, even if I didn't at the time.
Sure you do.
Only because you learned that we were half Fae, or even part Fae. I'm not even sure how we are possibly made.
If you were 100% Fae, you wouldn't feel guilty at all, would you?
100%
human.
If we were 100% human, you wouldn't feel guilty at all. Yeah.
No, the ritual would only have worked if he was part Fae. I already
If
knew at
it
the
could have
time
succeeded and
that I enacted it.
you were human.
You were fully human. My course of action would be the same, no matter
Of course it would.
in that situation. As I said, I made a wrong assumption. The reason I feel guilty is because I have seen your actions. Not all of them were good decisions.
Adelaide rubs the back of her neck.
You probably don't
Not
give a crap
all
about
of
that.
them?
But they're understandable.
No, it's the first time I've heard that.
No, all of your decisions were understandable in the moment. Not good decisions, I can agree there. But
Understandable, and the more character you've shown, though flimsy in some ways, the thing that I was afraid of was wrong.
Were you afraid that we were totally down to capture more fays and turn them into slaves?
He gestures to the world around him. What do you think?
We're not from this world, though.
That's kind of the whole point of...
But you look like humans.
And I had no
And
assurances that we would.
We did set up
status quo.
many challenges around your road to test your moral character, comparing what choices you would make if it was a fae and danger compared to what a human would.
What challenges were those?
Glances over at Catalina.
Glances over at Catalina.
Some of them you failed.
Mm-hmm.
Glances
Some of
over
them
at Catalina.
you rose far above. And he does look at Catalina. She was part of it, yes. Though she did not know it at the time. We arranged to have a keeper killed so she would be there at the time of your arrival at the fort.
Oh.
So one of you might be forced to take her as keeper. And just see what she would do with that power. And in the labyrinth, when you were tasked with either putting her in the arena where she would surely die, or one of your friends. He looks at you, Emma. You chose to go yourself.
And I died.
You did. You made a very grave sacrifice.
Was that you who also put us in the labyrinth the second time?
No. Though I have freed the Fae that were involved in that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You did.
And
I clasp Felix on the shoulder and just kind of pat.
Which was a great idea.
Traumatizing another child. Lovely.
I see why you would want
More
to
than one. More than one.
That. I understand why you would want to free them, but
they were the ones, in our eyes, to be in considerable amounts of peril. We are not the only people who did research into the rituals, and the Ross family is quite famous for their magical ability. They made many manipulations upon it. Made things much worse than they could have been. That's why I didn't wait to release them, even with the problems present in the ritual.
you could have at least kept an eye on them, make sure they don't cause chaos.
I cannot control the action of every person on Othara, just the same as you cannot control the action of even every person in your group.
Adela is rubbing her neck again.
Got it.
I'm not omnipotent, and I admit to making many mistakes.
That you
Alice
have.
is pretty satisfied with this.
I will not lay claim to making the mistakes of letting a keeper order around their fae whichever way they want. Or the fact that of over many centuries of, quite frankly, brutal enslavement, that some fae have become more demented than they were in previous centuries.
What are you going to
was
do
pretty
with the more
satisfied with
demented Fae?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, apply the actual fae laws to them. They would have a final dance, and they would fade away. But the way they should go. Once all is settled, I plan to do so myself.
Emma's respect for Delavere has risen.
Oh, Alice's
A lot.
is just
A lot.
continuing to go up.
Yeah.
You were dealt a rather shit hand.
Certainly.
I have not been kind to you.
Wish you luck, and I give you a degree of my support in reclaiming your two home cities. I don't stand for the
To do it.
pain of or slaughter of any peoples, nor the enslavement. I wish you luck and offer the support I'm sorry, I won't be able to actively support you if this were to come to violence. But
and I don't expect any of you to. It is not your fight. That is all. And that's the rest of you.
This is the place where, like, you are going to be given to a new owner. Are you just, because you have so many free, how many of them are actually, that I know are?
Everyone that is not Delavier.
Okay, so yeah, you have so many free. Are you just planning to mind control, memory wipe them, and just stay up here?
Unfortunately, that is not how being an unbounded Fae works. I will need a new keeper.
Atlas just starts feeling sorry for him.
Yeah,
And very soon, my own magical reserves run thin. But I am hoping to find one a little more sympathetic.
Magical reserves. I look at Alec.
No.
He shakes his head. He shakes his head. He shakes.
Am I-
No.
Am I
No.
No.
Okay.
Everyone's yelling no.
I don't care if it does work. You're not doing that.
Fine.
Delavier raises an eyebrow. Alex shakes his head.
Don't ask.
Do you remember the breaking off power that Oshana had? It's a little like that. And Delavier just like a, no thank you.
Figured I'd offer. I don't know how far.
Oh, no. If it is anything remotely. It's just hard no.
Itches some of the scars on her arm.
Oh, that is all. And he turns and holds out his hands toward Alec. Alec looks him over. He shakes his head, but he pulls in and he whispers something into his ear as he shakes his hand and just gives him a look that is halfway between very unsympathetic, like definitely not the same view that you all have after this conversation.
Now Adelaide is against this guy. He hurt Jamie. Like one of the nicest kids out of everybody.
I don't think
When
he can
do you
really
plan?
redeem himself for the wrong that he's done just by
No, he's
saying
not
a few
redundant.
things. I know.
Reasons
But-
aren't
That's for owning up to
excuses.
that.
We haven't seen any concrete proof of him.
Delavier, when do you plan to unbind Jamie?
As soon as I possibly can. Hopefully when the flaws in the ritual are organized. I do not know how those particular flaws would affect not full Fae, so it could be considerably more risky.
What flaws?
Yes.
It does not reverse all the effects the ritual has.
Did he answer the question of who Jamie is bound to?
Yeah, Estrella.
Oh, right, he did. I hope that Estrella doesn't use that bond to her advantages in the meantime.
Estrella just raises a singular eyebrow in response to that. She doesn't say anything. As this particularly tense conversation comes to a close, and a deal has been finalized, and you are all sort of escorted out of the room, we will pull away. We pull away to a field somewhere in Andrapis. Celercia did not like humans. They were small and easy to step on. They got in the way, complicated things, spoke of morals and righteousness in laughable moments. They were so weak, so puny, Outright that they had to speak on anything as an authority. They were like ants pretending to be scholars as they scurried to justify their decisions. It was irritating. Then, of course, she remembers one particular human. "Well, I can't beat you in a fight," he had shouted, "so pick something else." It was strange. He was strange. No fear, just a brazen show of disrespect. She had tried to crush him. He had laughed. "Not tag, please, you're too big, and can fly. That's like a huge advantage, it's not fair." He spoke of fairness like a wormling would, like it was a given. She had tried to smite him. In the end, they had played hide-and-seek. He won. It had been such a confounding encounter. Solaris did not like humans, but she did not hate them. They were perhaps a bit like the court jester. Amusing, yet oddly necessary. Perhaps their problems seemed trivial, but to ignore them would be a mistake. To a king, the problems of his farmers are hardly worth the trouble, but to ignore too many of them, or even just the wrong one, and the nation would starve, or a coup would be held. It was worth paying attention. She curled down, looking at the forms beneath her. It was worth listening to them, even if they would be her undoing. She knew in the ages of kings she would die. It was what destiny had decreed. But she would try, as Parvel had, to live every last moment as she wanted. To her last. And with that, episode 66 of Kingmakers, Bloom, comes to a close. I've been your MC, and we will see you all next time.